I'm giving away this championship belt once I hit 100K. Welcome back to the Ango Show. I, of course, am Ango, and today we got a big one. I want to kick things off with an update on Triple H and his creative power. We have talked about this before in the sense that Triple H has 100% full creative control, a decision that was made by Ari Emanuel. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select reported that a multitude of talent returning to the show, long-tenured wrestlers finally making their debuts, various cameos, increased screen time for women's talent, extended matches, and fewer in-ring restrictions are all signs that Triple H is fully in power. It makes sense because if you've been watching Raw and SmackDown for the last 2 weeks, you could definitely tell the change. And you could definitely tell that it's Triple H's WWE when the tag team division is a focus again and the women's division is a focus yet again. These were the two things that I noticed very quickly, that when Vince McMahon kind of swooped back in, that was a major thing that I've noticed that we didn't get to see much of. We didn't see DIY. We didn't see Ciampa and Gargano. And the thing is that's so unique about this is that Vince McMahon has kind of always been in the background. And now Triple H has full creative power, which is great. But you're noticing such a large difference without noticing a massive difference in the actual storylines. And I think people need to understand, Triple H uses a very basic, formulaic standard when it comes to storytelling. These are not very intricate storylines. They're not that crazy. But what is happening here is every single week there's little tidbits and nuances that if you're following along every single week, there is something happening in the background. There is a little bit of an Easter egg within every storyline that kind of gets you excited to watch the following week. And now Triple H is already doing something very good with Drew McIntyre turning heel, and now Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, now that Sami is on Raw and Kevin Owens got moved to SmackDown. So ultimately, a very good decision by the WWE, and more specifically, Ari Emanuel for getting Vince McMahon out of the position, because truthfully, WWE is way better without him. Triple H is killing it. More women's storylines is already happening on Raw and SmackDown. NXT has been killing it with the women's division for a while, and Vince McMahon is not involved with NXT, but clearly there are some synergies there where all of these brands are starting to align. Tag team wrestling, women's wrestling, more in-ring work. Part of that same report was also mentioned that matches like Shinsuke versus Ricochet, Gunther versus Bronson Reed, and Ivar and Kofi Kingston, those are a couple examples to further provide proof that Triple H is actually working on the show, which, by the way, you know, I've always been a storyline guy first, but when you start incorporating good stories and good matches together, it makes the show feel must-see, and it feels important. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. Also, we got to talk about Tyson Fury, because we don't know if Triple H wants celebrities in WWE. We don't know if Triple H is going to be the guy that prioritizes up-and-coming stars, or if he's going to prioritize these massive big names. Tyson Fury did an interview with Sports Illustrated, and it was a simple question being asked if basically whether or not he would return to WWE. He said that he's been doing this for 15 years, which is a long time. I know it won't last forever, and it's true. I've had a few good stints in WWE. There are still a lot of good opportunity there. He mentions it too. He's very busy with boxing. He's still very active. That's where his focus is. But he had very good things to say about WWE and his overall experience. So the real question here is, will Triple H bring back Tyson Fury, right? Tyson Fury is going to fight Francis Ngannou on October 28th on pay-per-view. And it's a massive, massive pay-per-view headlining fight. But at the end of the day, Tyson Fury is right. He is not going to be an active boxer forever. And I know some people look at it like they can transition into WWE, but this is where I have to be a little bit critical. I love Tyson Fury. I think he's a phenomenal boxer. I will never take anything away from that. I can never be that good of a boxer. Tyson Fury clearly going to go down as one of the best heavyweights of all time. One of the best heavyweights of all time. But at the same time, I do want to make it pretty clear, if Tyson Fury gets involved with WWE, I don't want to see him taking matches away from other people. Triple H and the WWE have gone to these 5 to 6 matches on a pay-per-view. It's all the highest stories. I wouldn't want to see Tyson Fury get a pay-per-view match against somebody that could be taken away from a tag team championship match with DIY in the Judgment Day. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because ultimately, that's something that the old WWE would have done. Now, if Tyson Fury wants to make cameos, if he wants to knock somebody out once in a while, I'm all for it. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But if it's going to be like this guy is going to jump into the WWE and work matches, we've seen him and Braun Strowman. He is not a good wrestler. Tyson Fury should stick to boxing. But if he's going to be there for appearances once in a while, I'm totally cool with it. If it's him taking up time from other people's matches, I'm not cool with it. Brie Bella doing an interview got everybody talking, or should I say Brie Garcia. Nikki and Brie being very open about WWE not allowing them to keep the Bella twins name. Now they go by the Garcia twins. They did this interview, and basically it sounds like Brie Bella is getting ready to come back. So they were speaking with Amanda Hirsch on the Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast, and Brie basically, she gave a good indication that she would be making her way to AEW, or she'd be at least willing to. She says, especially because, my husband's at AEW now, but I'm still surrounded by a lot of wrestling because he and we talk about it all the time. He's fully in it and had just an incredible match this Sunday at their big pay-per-view, All Out, and I watch everything when I see the women's wrestle and all that, and I'm always like, Nikki talks about how Brie gets fired up, and they talk a little bit about AEW being allowed to bleed more, do a little bit more. It's a little bit more hardcore. Brie Bella then goes on to say that she would be open to learning that style of wrestling. She believes that she has it in her. Nikki goes on to say, we want one last run, especially when our sons are a little bit older and they could sit and watch their mommies kick ass. And then also has a lot to do with Nikki and her neck, because there's a chance that she might not be medically cleared because of her neck injury. So the fact that Brie Bella's willing to go to AEW, cool, fantastic. I have no problem with that. I know a lot of AEW fans might not like that, but the Bella twins really got famous outside of WWE too. Like mainstream coverage, reality shows, businesses. They've definitely been successful without the WWE, even after WWE. AEW, I don't know if they plan on still doing reality shows. We saw AEW All Access. We saw Roads to the Top. Wouldn't be against the idea of them bringing back like Total Bellas, their own version of it, obviously. But I wouldn't be opposed to that because it could definitely help out AEW. And our final topic of today's video, guys, Sting is set to make some sort of announcement on AEW Dynamite. He will be addressing the fans tonight on AEW Dynamite on the October 18th, 2023 episode. There's a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation on what this could be. Some people believe that Sting could possibly be hinting at retirement, or just flat out just revealing his retirement plan. There is some belief that Sting could be doing some sort of match challenge to somebody on the roster, maybe Christian. I mean, it could be something like that. There's also some people that believe Sting is the best spokesperson for AEW in the event that Tony Khan isn't there. And I do think this could be something that's a possibility. But it wouldn't be a bad idea for Sting to be somebody who introduces or announces whatever TV deal or streaming deal AEW has. Tony Khan, I have no issue with Tony Khan being on TV and making these announcements, but I think if you look at AEW, Tony Khan shouldn't be the guy that is like the front and center of it all. Obviously, we know he owns it, but when you look at WWE, it's like you have all of these top stars. I would put them in those moments. I think AEW should do the same with Sting. If it is some sort of major announcement regarding the future of AEW and a streaming deal, I would have Sting announce it. Then you can have a heel actually, attack him or whatever it may be. The reason why I bring this up, though, is because Warner Bros. Discovery loves Sting. So it's like perfect. This guy's somebody that everybody loves. He's a big deal to obviously the TBS Warner Media audience. Just keep that in mind. Big announcement, big things coming tonight. I'll keep you updated. Don't forget, I'm giving away this championship belt at $100K. I'll see you next time.